Honest J Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to Honest J Nowak. And I will say at this point that there are plenty of stuff that I'm going to be doing, lots of stuff that I'm going to have taken place within the next month or so, but as 2020 is continuously drawing to a close, I really ought to say that with all the stuff that's happened here, there's way too many stuff that's happened that's actually been good. Lots of good stuff has happened in my life this whole entire year alone. I mean, my voice has really done so much better now than it used to be. My content is growing at an exponential rate. I've been getting a lot of new viewership and subscribers lately. I mean, this has been an amazing year. I've been making a lot of new friends too, since a ton of old ones have pretty much went their separate ways with me. Occasionally I would bring them into some of my topics in my life as such. That's kind of what the purpose of social media is about. But anyways, I don't want to get off track here because today's episode is going to be based on yet another subject that I have jotted down here on this little slip of paper, which is indeed still part of this notepad nonetheless, but it's perforated at the end. So I could easily tear this thing off and just have this thing alone without having much trouble. So today, it's episode number 577. Here we are again. Pretty much counting upwards up until the very end, 752. This is number 577, Ash. So of course, I guess now would be just a great time for me to go ahead and reiterate that subjects are going to be all over the place, but again, they're still around. Honest J Nowak is still going to be on its toes, and I'm still going to be on mine, as long as I keep everything going here. New subjects, new ideas, new episodes. So anyways, number 577, Ash. Ash is just simply put another way of saying that there are remains to something. If there's a remains to a dead corpse, which is known more appropriately as cremation, then well, there's the possibility that you'll have ashes remaining. And most of the time you'll have them inside of a bag, which you can then put inside, well, basically whatever you want. You can put them inside of a water jug, or a vase, or a vessel, or a barrel, or a box. Ashes don't always come over from the dead bodies, however. You would of course be very familiar with the fact that if you've burned wood before, or leaves before, or plants before, or grass, then of course there's the possibility of ashes coming out of those as well. Most of the time when leaves are dry and crinkly and crumbly pretty much, that's usually a much better method as fuel for the fire. When you could already use things like sawdust or gasoline or anything else, then well, there's the possibility that those can turn out pretty good if you're trying to start a fire as quickly as possible. But ashes, of course, aren't necessarily the type of thing that you could use as a fire starter. Sure, it may have consistency similar to that of some powders like talcum and flour and sugar even, but most of the time this is something out there that can actually be pretty dangerous. Ash has in fact been quite a big killer in history. Take for example the Vesuvius eruption in 79 AD. Pompeii in Italy, the Bay of Naples, that township was indeed quite a big spot to be covered up by thousands of tons of ash, gas, rock, and otherwise that have been thrown outside of Mount Vesuvius. So of course, that's just one big example of how dangerous ash itself can be. Albeit there was also rock and molten gases and otherwise that could be found coming outside of any volcanic eruption really. But in most cases, ash does indeed fall down like snow, as said by Linkin Park back in 2009. So, yeah, nice cross reference there. But I will once again say at this point that because 2020's drawing to a close. There will still be some business that I'll have left to deal with, but if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.